The moment you say yes or the moment you say no when you were supposed to say yes, you learn exactly how they really feel about you. Anyone can come together for a common cause. As the world say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They can join together for a common cause just to take care of whatever situation they feel they need to take care of. But once that situation is completed, it ran its course. It ran dry. It didn't work or they were successful. Then they go back to disliking each other. And we're seeing that play out right in our face. I'll elaborate a little bit more when I come back. Hello, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming back. Those who are new, check out the whole video. Check out the videos on the whole channel. It would greatly be appreciated. Let's jump into this. I saw these articles yesterday. I was trying to do a video about them last night, but I was exhausted. Like you came here to hear that, right? Okay, what I meant is because this country does, I could say, a great job at painting illusions, like making it seem like every community get along except Black Americans. They make it look so well that you're like, okay, they do appear to get along, right? But in reality, they don't really get along like that. Everybody don't get along with each other. You can see it in your own family. You can see it with friends, classmates, co-workers. Everybody will not get along with everyone. That's just how it is. And I was told years ago that anyone who appears to get along with everybody, that's because they're not being their true selves. Because if you appease someone over here, someone else is going to be upset. Vice versa. And anyone who tries to get along with everybody all the time, you're going to find yourself hospitalized. Facts. Nervous breakdown, hospitalized. Facts. So I saw this article. I saw several articles that I wanted to bring to your attention. And I'm talking about it because I thought it was interesting. And I'm talking about it because I have a right to talk about it. And I'm talking about it because how many people talk about our community, whether it's good or bad. I thought it was some information I wanted to share with you guys, those who are interested. If you're not interested, that's fine. So the first article that I stumbled across that came into my inbox via Apple News is from, it's talking about the extremist groups, how they really felt about Charlie Kirk. Extremists, the title is Extremist Groups Hated Charlie Kirk. They're using his death to radicalize others. They did not like him, but they're going to use this as an opportunity to spread their tainted ideology. Okay, let me read a little bit of the article too, and it's going to go into why they didn't like him. And all of a sudden now they're trying to erect others to come together for a cause that has something to do with his death. It's opportunist at its worst. Let me get into the article. The Oath Keepers are apparently restarting, and extremist groups like Proud Boys are calling for state violence in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. Here's the thing. Why is it that every time you folks get angry, the first thing you want to do is call for violence? And be honest with it. Go do some research. It's historical. Just look at the threats that they initiated against black colleges. who are miles away from Utah, but they found a way to drag black folks in and threaten to do violence against them. That is historical. Yet they're always talking about the black community is so violent. They're so violent, but the first thing you want to call for is vengeance and state violence. Y'all better be careful what you ask for. Because a lot of people that you are humiliating and pissing off, you're going to have to deal with them too. Some people are waiting for you to make the first move. And I'm just trying to tell you, trying to give y'all a warning. Some people are waiting for you to make the first move. Let's continue. For years, extremist groups, white nationalists, and militias like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers saw Charlie Kirk not as their ally, but as their enemy. Though Charlie Kirk degenerated trans people, Muslims, unmarried women, and many minorities and advocated for an America with Christianity at the center of every aspect of life, he was, in their view, a moderate. For some, his staunch support of Israel's government made Kirk a target rather than a friend. A target rather than a friend. Did you hear that? You know what I saw? This just brought to mind what I just read. Just brought to mind TV series I'm watching. I don't think it's on Paramount TV. It's on one of those streaming services that I have. They went and damaged somebody's property. The main character family damaged somebody's property, blamed it on somebody else, and then rallied everybody together to go against the people that they blamed it on. That's what's coming to mind. Like, were you guys behind this? And now you're trying to rally everybody together like, oh, let's go get them. And you're behind what happened? Yeah, it's something to think about. But in the immediate aftermath of Kirk being fatally shot while speaking at a Turning Point USA event Wednesday at Utah Valley University, Utah, these same groups were quick to frame the incident as an attack on one of their own, portraying Kirk's death as part of what they see as an ongoing war against white Christian men. The same groups were relatively quiet on Friday after police announced they had arrested a 22-year-old from Utah for the killing who had no obvious ties to the left. They got real quiet when it didn't fit their narratives. And now they're going around saying that the 22-year-old was radicalized because in their mind, they cannot fathom that this white male Republican could actually commit such a violent crime against another Republican. They can't fathom it. But they can go around talking about crime in the black community and black on black crime, which is no such thing, because if there's black on black crime, there's white on white crime. There's Mexican on Mexican crime, and so on and so forth. Stop with the stigmatization. And like I said, what irritates me the most is when black folks say it. It's like, God, that self-hatred is cancer. Let's go on. These groups, many of which have been relatively dormant since the mass arrests surrounding January 6th attack on the Capitol, have used the outpouring of grief around Kirk's death as a lightning rod, a signal that they need to mobilize and take action. Many of them, including the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, have used Kirk's death as a recruitment and radicalizing tool to convince his supporters to take a more extreme worldview. Nothing can stop what is coming. Ryan Sanchez, the leader of the far-right national network, who was caught on video giving a Nazi salute during last year's Conservative Political Action Conference, wrote on his Telegram channel, "We are mobilizing young nationalists to defend our communities against the radical left. We need your help." I thought that I noticed that these guys, these people who are head of these extremists, these white extreme groups, their last names are Hispanic. I wasn't even really aware of that until I, stumbled across these articles. That shows you how much I was interested in knowing anything about them. I really wasn't. But that's strange. Let's continue. The appeals appear to be at least somewhat working. Sanchez's post was accompanied by a screenshot showing a $1,000 donation he received on Christian crowdfunding platform GiveSendGo. See what I said about these white churches? I saw a video where a white woman was talking about white churches and how they are the root cause of this hatred in this country, and they are. That's why they can call themselves a Christian and still be violent. That's why they can go to church and either before church or after church string a black man or woman or child in the tree in front of the church, go preach a sermon, come out and eat while the body is still dangling from the tree. They don't see anything wrong with what they do. But you about to find out how wrong it is. Because the God I serve, he's tired of it. He's been tired of it, but he has mercy. He's waiting for the day that you say, this is wrong and I don't want to do it anymore, and you repent. Or he'll turn you over to reprobate mind. So let me go on. Let me continue. This is the beginning of a movement that may define our nation. The donor wrote on the site, use it for good and purge the country of these insane ideologies. What'd I just say? This is somebody in the church just said that. Purge the country. So who you trying to purge? Are you going to let it be known are you going to let your identity be known? Mr. Pastor, Deacon, whoever you are, that you're telling this extremist who already got pure hatred in his heart, you telling him to purge the country. Purge the country of who? You better be careful that weapon don't turn around on you. Another donor who called himself white nationalist commented. Time to take our country back, fellas. Get to work. What country is that? You realize that every white person in this country who call themselves American, your ancestors were immigrants. Let's go on. Sanchez, an accolade of far-right influencer Nick Fuentes, has already mobilized. A video from a vigil for Kirk that Sanchez promoted in Huntington Beach, California on Wednesday shows a group of men chanting, "White man fight back." He shared another image of himself speaking at the vigil on his Telegram channel with the caption, "Death to the left." The video of the chanting in Huntington Beach was shared in many other extremist groups, including the Anti-Communist Comeback Headquarter channel on Telegram, which is a hub for amplifying anti-Semitic, racist, and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric from groups including Active Clubs and the National Justice Party. The channel's operators highlighted just how useful a recruitment tool such events are. Within minutes of Kirk's fatal shooting on Wednesday, far-right influencers and extremists claimed the U.S. was at war and that the shooter, who was not identified until Friday morning, was a radical leftist. A motive has not been determined. These same figures turned their attention to those on the left. They proceed to be celebrating Kirk's death, launching a non-stop campaign to get those people fired. As Wired reported Thursday, the effort also resulted in a lot of people receiving death threats, with one victim telling Wired they were moving their family out of their home. So, this is only tolerated because they're a white hate group. Let some other group go around acting, behaving like barbarics, cavemen, you already know what would happen. You already know. So they're behind people getting fired. So you know you can bring some lawsuits against them. Get it verified. Everybody who is firing you for voicing your opinion, for expressing how you feel, which Kirk took advantage of all the time. He mastered the art of expression, saying whatever he wanted to say, whether it was factual or not. Whether it was 2% factual and 98% fabricated. That's what he did. He exercised his freedom. So why are they telling you you can't? Okay, it's coming to light that Kirk had a feud with Utah's governor, Spencer Cox, in the past. I was about to say I didn't know that. Of course I didn't know that. I didn't follow Kirk. I didn't follow really any Republican, and I damn sure don't follow Democrats. It's like if a headline hit me and it's interesting, that's the only way I'll know about you. Or if I intentionally go do some kind of research on you. But other than that, Utah Governor Spencer Cox basked in praise for his unity plea at Friday's FBI press conference, but the man whose alleged assassin he was discussing once wanted him expelled from the Republican Party. Cox dominated the podium detailing Kirk's murder just 3 years after the TPUSA founder branded him a weak moderate who should be expelled from the Republican Party. Sodia. 2022 social media blast came after Cox vetoed a bill banning biological males from women's sports, a move that infuriated Kirk and conservative activists. New friends of the slain activists find it ironic that the same Governor Kirk wanted kicked out of GOP pushed aside FBI officials to control the narrative around his death. The feud ran deeper. Cox also threatened to veto a statewide ban on transgender surgeries for minors, prompting Kirk to accuse him of being paid off by Big Pharma, who make billions off hormone blockers and chemical castration. Yet on Friday, in a stunning about-face, Cox opened a press conference by claiming he was inspired by Kirk's writings and beliefs, urging the dead activist followers to let their anger fade. The governor's sudden reverence for a man who savaged him as a corrupt rang hollow to those who remembered their bitter public battles. So this seems to be getting this, as they say, rabbit hole seems to be getting deeper and deeper. I'm just looking at an article. The grandma of Charlie Kirk's assassin insists the FBI had wrong man. My young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have to remember that we can choose a different path, Cox said, pleading with Kirk supporters to find an off-ramp or it's going to get much, much worse. While Kirk made his name by promoting the MAGA movement and ideas on social media, Cox warned young people that social media is a cancer. I urge people to log off, turn off, and touch grass, he noted. Pundits immediately praised Cox's performance while contrasting it with that of President Trump, who blamed the left for the violence, pointing to bad people, bad philosophies, ideologies, and politics. Cox has promoted more civility in politics, promoting his own Disagree Better campaign in public appearances. Cox's remarks angered Steve Bannon, who spoke to the Daily Mail after his press conference. Spencer Cox is a national embarrassment. In a time where we need action, he tells us to sing Kumbaya and hold hands with Antifa, he said. Now, here's the thing. This question is for Bannon and people who follow him or support him. So if people actually go out in these streets and be violent like you guys are insinuating or straight out saying, are you guys going to be accountable for it? You know, if innocent lives get taken because of what you guys are promoting, who's going to be accountable? Okay. And then you realize that if you promote, if people go out and do what you're saying, suggesting or directly saying, who's to say people won't come for you if their loved ones get taken out? You see how that works? Your rhetoric, because of your angry, vindictive, vicious rhetoric that you're saying online. But are you going to be bold enough to move like you're saying you want other people to move? See, that's a cowardice thing right there. You pumping these people up who are already angry. You're pumping them up, putting this in their head, and they go out there and do what you say. Because you're not going to do it, because you're not going to jeopardize your livelihood. You're just talking because you want other people to do it. So you think that you could promote all this violence in these streets where people are already angry, hungry, jobless, frustrated, and you think it's not going to come back on you? You guys are the biggest fools. And all of these public figures and politicians who are advocating for violence and vengeance, you need to vote them out of office right now, because they're not doing nothing but hurting you. All you people out there, you thinking you ready, you're not ready. Some of you guys don't even have a way. Some of you guys don't even have a way to defend yourself. I'm not concerned about me and mine. Trust. Let's continue. While the good and decent Kirk lies in a mortuary awaiting burial, he tells us to invite Democrats over for a cookout. The radical left that burns Portland daily and shoot up school kids weekly. What's the problem with sitting down having a peaceful conversation with people that you disagree with? You're the first ones to say black people have low impulse control and don't have the mental maturity or capacity to talk their issues out. But now you're the first one advocating for violence. Hypocrites. That's what I hate about this country. I cannot stand that hypocrisy. So you guys are the only ones that can act like cavemen, right? You don't have the mental capacity to talk out how you feel. You want to run to the streets. But the ones who are advocating running to the streets, they're not going to be in them streets, folks. They want you to do it. They want you to lose everything. And they're going to sit in their nice, cozy mansions and watch it unfold on TV with an evil smirk on their face, drinking liquor and eating popcorn, no, drinking beer. Well, half cooked meat, barely cooked meat. Let's go on. This is a time to declare Antifa a domestic terrorist organization and have the FBI go kick down some doors banning at it. So then you're going to put the FBI and other law enforcement agents in crosshair, because you know these people ain't going to go out peacefully. And then while you're declaring Antifa domestic terrorists, declare all the other white nationalists domestic terrorists too. You see who's behind this white terror, right? Let them keep exposing themselves, and then that's how you know how to deal with them when they're asking for your support. Especially black folks. Look at all these people, black folks, black Americans, these people who are advocating violence, and you see how your children in these colleges got pulled up in that crap. Now you know who not to support and who jobs to go after. And then you have these fools in political positions and public figures advocating violence. It's time to go after their jobs and their careers, because this nonsense needs to stop. And when we talk about unifying and building our community, they want to say we're racist and causing division. Oh my God. Let's go on. I don't need to be lectured by Spencer Cox about how we should feel, think, or act, she added, describing Cox's long speech as a call for surrender. You got women oh my God. It was very off-putting, she said. This is what Kelly said. Cox it seemed like Spencer Cox is the only one that's trying to keep you guys from unaliving yourselves, because you think you're gonna go out there all big, bad, and hard, and you're gonna be the first one probably knocked down. So it's like anyone that's out there advocating for violence and you're in this big public position or political position, you should be imprisoned right now. How many black people they put in jail for inciting violence? It was somebody, I cannot remember who it was. Recently, they were put in jail or arrested for inciting violence. That's what you're doing. You're inciting violence. What's that question? No. What's that saying? Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it and cry about it later. Don't have your ad. You asking for this. So don't get your ass back on TV or social media crying about the outcome. Because you think you're feeling yourself a little too much. Because y'all done pissed off a lot of people in this country. And I'm not just talking about those called Black Americans. You pissed off a lot of people in this country and a lot of people you recently kicked out. Whatever. Cox, described by Time magazine as the red state governor who's not afraid to be woke, famously refused to endorse President Trump's election bid until after the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I'm so tired of these white people using woke. Every time you say it, you sound like the biggest fool. The woke word became a thing in the 60s, and it was mainly directed towards Black Americans, telling them and telling us to keep our eyes open for manipulation and games. That you guys seem to think you're gonna keep playing with us. Stay woke. Watch. Ugh. The moderate, mild-mannered governor who made a point of sitting down with Democrats was also booed at Utah State Republican conventions until he started skipping the gatherings entirely because of their vocal dissent. And in 22, Kirk sent out a tweet saying Utah Governor Spencer Cox should be expelled from the Republican Party. He was branded a weak moderate who should be expelled. While the majority of Kirk supporters maintained silence for the sake of unity, some Trump supporters voiced their frustration with Cox. To all the uninformed clowns out there, Governor Cox is not MAGA. He's a dirty rhino Democrat and shameless self-promoter. And what a gross self-consumed man, wrote the social media account of the pro-MAGA Republican Gateway Pundit. Cox's clash with prominent MAGA figures was well known for years. Journalist Tucker Carlson mocked Cox as a cut-rate Gavin Newsom imitator in 2022, pointing out that Cox once announced his gender pronouns at a town hall and signed a Utah compact on racial equity, diversion, and inclusion after he was elected governor. Oh, I see. So, because Kirk is not being a racist, that's what you guys really have an issue with. I should have known. I'm about to end this. I didn't plan for this video to be that long, but I thought it was mildly interesting what's going on behind the scenes. And like I said, it's just a lot of hypocrisy. It's a lot of fingers have been pointing at our community for decades, for centuries, about damn near everything. The lack of unity. If you don't see clearly now, you will never see. But if you don't see clearly that this political arena is so toxic, it's a cesspool. They are hypocritical, they're instigators, they're manipulators, they're provocatives. They do everything under the sun and find a way to get away with it, and while you guys suffer. So that's why it's very fascinating and baffling to me when people show that they are still married to these major political parties. I guess you like psychological abuse. So I will continue to keep looking at what's going on, checking out. I mean, if it comes in my face, I'm not going to search for it. I'm not. If I see anything else that I feel is interesting that I want to bring to you guys, I will. That's about it, folks. Enjoy your weekend. All week I've been thinking that it's been like, let me see. Friday, I thought it was Saturday. And today, for some reason, I'm thinking it's Sunday. Okay, folks. Thank you for your time and attention. Be safe out there, y'all. And like I said, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. And then your ass going to be on social media and TV crying about it. See y'all later. Deuces. See you in the next video.